Hi everyone. Today we will explore and discuss the entire Bambi's family tree, from the popular franchise, Bambi, which is based on the 1923 book Bambi, A Life in the Woods, by Austrian author and hunter Felix Salten. So let's dive into it. Bambi, also known as the Young Prince. He is the current Great Prince of the forest. He is a white-tailed deer that grew up in the wild with his mother's protective and compassionate guidance. He is courageous, inquisitive, and determined, as he strives to gain his father's approval while maturing into a more confident and responsible young deer. He likes prancing around, flowers, butterflies, and hates ice skating, rainstorms, possums, and forest fires. His father, the Great Prince of the forest, he was the protector and the ruler of the forest. He was the forest's largest and oldest surviving deer, who had a big set of antlers, brown eyes, and brown fur. He was very similar to his son. As a fawn, he appeared cold and aloof at times, but after the loss of Bambi's mother, he began to express his emotions more openly and talked about the past more frequently, something he had previously avoided since he was taught, it's best to leave the past in the past. And Bambi's mother was unnamed. She was the great princess of the forest, who was killed by an unseen hunter known as Man. Little is known about her, except that she met her future husband, the Great Prince, as a child, and grew up with another doe named Mina. She liked being with her son, grass, and hated guns and hunters. Bambi is married to her childhood friend Feline, also known as the Princess of the Forest. She is a blue-eyed doe with a playful and flirtatious personality. She also has nurturing and supportive nature, often acting as a source of comfort and companionship for Bambi. She likes laughing, romance, playing, and hates Rano's rudeness, hunters, and dogs. Feline had a twin brother, named Gobo, who first appeared in the novel, Bambi, A Life in the Woods. He was physically weak as a child, but he was nice, kind, and had a strong heart. Unfortunately, once he reached adulthood, everything changed. As a deer, Gobo was arrogant, feeling that his relationship with man made him smarter and superior than other forest creatures. He also became exceedingly stubborn, believing that he was always correct about everything. Later, he was shot and killed by Man. Their mother, Ina, she loved her children, especially Gobo. She was overjoyed when Gobo returned as a healthy, full-grown adult. She grew to adore and love her son even more, believing what he said about Man's generosity and compassion. Unfortunately, he was shot and killed by Man shortly afterwards. It's unclear what happened to Ina after her son died. Feline and Gobo's father was unnamed. He is a stag about which little is known, the existence of his twin children. Feline and Gobo clearly implies his existence. However, it's unknown whether he's ever made a physical appearance. There was a scene in Bambi, A Life in the Woods, where Feline, Gobo, and Bambi saw their fathers from a distance, but it is unclear whether this means they saw Feline and Gobo's father, or if the fathers are just generic stags who represent the concept of fatherhood, but are not their biological fathers. Bambi and Feline together have 3 children. Their daughter, Guri. She is regarded as cheerful, lively, and self-assured. However, she may be a ditz at times. When she was a fawn, her father described her as scatterbrained and overconfident. After she was captured by Man, she developed a slightly different perspective on the world and began to sympathize with predators. She also grew more serious than before, drawing closer to her father. Their older son, Gino, as a young fawn, he was a slow but inquisitive learner who frequently asked his mother to explain things like snow and winter to him. He was also incredibly imaginative, sometimes imagining talks between the trees in the forest. And their youngest son, Furto, who appeared at the end of the novel, Bambi's Children, he is a young, energetic, and playful deer. He is portrayed as confident, brave, and adventurous, with a strong sense of curiosity. While not overly mature, Furto shows promise as he embarks on his own journey in the forest, signaling the continuation of life and growth in the cycle of nature. Rolla, who appeared in the novel, Bambi's Children, her precise connection to Feline and her offspring, who affectionately referred to her as Aunt Rolla, remains ambiguous. It is heavily suggested that Rolla and Feline do not have the same mother, as Feline shares a tale about the origin of fireflies that Rolla had never previously heard, and she refers to the source of that story as my mother instead of our mother, which would be expected if they were sisters. It is also plausible that Rolla and Feline are half-sisters, having the same father but different mothers. Another possibility is that Rolla is an aunt from Bambi's side, potentially a daughter of the great prince of the forest with an unknown doe, or perhaps a sister of either the great prince or Bambi's mother. Rolla has 2 children, her daughter Lana. She is graceful and tender, and her personality is reflective of the calm beauty of the forest. She has a comforting presence, showing warmth and affection, particularly towards Ferto, with whom she forms a connection. And her son, Boso, as a young deer, he was recognized for his speed, with Guri frequently noting that he was faster than Gino. That was all in the entire Bambi's family tree. Thanks for watching. See you all in next video. Till then, take care.